Hi guys and girls, so we're kicking off with an entrepreneurial series on successful entrepreneurs and a lot of short little videos, a little snippet of information that you can take with you, some tips and handy advice. So our first one is all about that successful entrepreneurs always visualize and plan for success, right? And you've always got to have a starting point, and as much as you can have your ideas and your goals and you want to run with those, you also have to have that mindset where you can visualize where you want to be, and you got to come back and I do this all the time, right? Is I can always take an idea and I see it right, I can visualize it right out into the future, and I can see literally instantly all the steps in between that I need to do, which I've kind of like laser focused over time, really worked that skill. And what it means is that I can then take that and break it down into what is my starting point and what are my next steps. And versus getting overwhelmed with, okay, I've got this big mammoth idea that I've got to run with, particularly if this is how you're feeling, right? So where do you start from? And how I do it is that I have a big whiteboard. In fact, as I'm looking at the camera, right, my big whiteboard is right behind. And do you want me to grab it? All right, 1 second. Okay, peeps. So this is my whiteboard, and I'm going to stick it behind me because I do have some personal goals on there. Don't want you to see them all, right? But I break it up I break up my goals. I always have my personal goals and I have my business goals. And I change them all the time. So I have this overarching thing of like, I know what my major business goals are, right? And then I'll go, okay, so what do I need to do like in the next month or 2 months or 3 months to really kick those off? And that is what I'm going to focus on. You may also, I tend to work a lot from my head. So once I've got them there, I kind of know what I'm working on. You might need to be a lot more disciplined if you're not used to working in a certain way, particularly if you're just starting out with entrepreneurship. Yeah. And how do you get that discipline and that organization? And you might want to do a daily task list, or what is your task for that week that you want to achieve? Because you can have an idea and do nothing because you might feel overwhelmed or stuck, right? But you've really got to get started. So I tend to find a whiteboard's brilliant. However you do it, you can always see it in front of you. And I pretty much write my goals from however many I have, usually 1 to 10, 1 to 9. And it's great for any kind of thing. So even if you don't want to be running with the business, but you just want to be looking after your health and your well-being, well, I always have my health goals on there. I have my relationship goals on there. I have my finance goals on there. And I absolutely have my big goals on there around my, what I want to do with business. And it really, really helps. So I'd love to hear what you're doing in terms of how do you plan your days, your weeks? What do you use as an entrepreneur to keep you on track? Some people use scheduling tools, but it's really important to break things down into a manageable level where you can literally get started, because that whole thing is taking action, right? I find it really interesting. You might want to do a vision board if you don't really have any idea of how you're going to get to where you want to be, or you've got a vague idea about what you want to create. A vision board is always really handy, and you can do all aspects of your life, right? I always find with those, I had one, I haven't done one in ages because I tend to go more into a little bit more organized with the whiteboard. And I can remember having it in one of my old places, and when we went to move, my son found it literally had fallen off the wall and gone behind a filing cabinet. He goes, "Oh my God, Mum, have a look at this." And there was goals on there around travel, and there were financial goals, and there was all sorts of goals on there, right? I had literally, without even looking at it, because don't forget we set it in our mindset, right? I had achieved everything on there except one goal, which I think was to travel somewhere exotic. But I'd achieved all the rest of them. And we were just like, and some of the goals were health and wellness goals, and I'd kicked them out of the park. But it was really fascinating to go back and see it. So, and I always, once I write my goal list, as soon as I've done something, right, big marker pen straight through it, because it always gives you that sense of achievement that you're actually taking action and you're actually achieving things as well. So I hope you found that super helpful. Love to hear your feedback on what you do in terms of organising your time, how you create your visions for what you want to achieve, and how do you organise yourself to get started, because I think it's a great discussion point. Yeah. Now, don't forget, connect with me on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. Hit that notification bell so my videos come through to you, and stay tuned for the next round of exciting videos.